Really, it's sort of a cross section. I work with insurance companies like Aflac. I work with utilities, both telephone utilities and also with electrical utilities. I work with small businesses. I work with large pharmaceutical firms like Pfizer is one of my clients. I work with different types of associations. I've got a program coming up shortly up in Toronto with the Veterinarians Association. So it's a cross section of both businesses and associations. Well, this may sound strange, but I get most excited when I hear a client say they've got some problems with morale. They feel their people are in a rut. Just really, they're worried about that. And once I know there's opportunity for me there. And some of the common denominators, the common factors that you hear often are people saying things like, well, everybody here, we feel like we're overworked and underpaid. You feel like there's no real opportunities left here. And if you want to get ahead, it's more about politics than it is performance. And the management team is saying, oh, people here don't have no gratitude. So when I hear variables like that, I know there's an opportunity. That's when I started getting excited, because I know I can do something to help them. Well, I find that what I do best is help people feel better about themselves. When someone feels better about his or herself, that is the central ingredient to becoming a better employee, a better parent, a better person. The famous medical missionary and Nobel Peace Prize winner Albert Schweitzer said that success was not the key to happiness, but happiness was the key to success. And so when people begin to feel better about themselves, then they are moving in the right direction. And I do that in a variety of ways. It's interesting. So many times people say, Ken, I want you to come in and motivate my people. And I say to them, well, I'll be glad to just speak to your folks. I said, but, motivating someone else is a very challenging task at times. And I find that there are a lot of differences in what motivates people. Everyone is not motivated by the same variable. So we have to really understand what is motivating for the individual. Some people say, well, money, that's the motivator. And I tell people, well, money is a variable that you got to have, no doubt about it. That's something that we all need, must have. But it is a temporary motivator, not a primary motivator. People soon forget the raises that they got, and they don't focus on that anymore. And so if we try to motivate people simply through money, we're going to have a failure on our hands for many people. $10,000 raise, I'm excited. Go down to home, see Clyde. Clyde, guess what? I just got a $10,000 raise. He said, 10. The rest of us got 20. I'm going to quit this outfit. You see, money in itself will not do it. One of the reasons it's a variable because it's one way a lot of people keep score. In fact, Donald Trump was, in one of his books, said that he was never motivated by money. He was motivated by the fact that's the way he kept score. So that is just one element. And we have to learn what can be done to reach the employees. What is it that they need? What is it they're looking for? So there are a lot of great opportunities out there. If we put the proper focus and understand, we can make a difference. Well, it's a combination. I do a lot of after-dinner speeches, and then I do kickoffs, and then I do different workshops, full-day workshop, half-days, all the way down to one-on-one consulting and working with clients. So it's a variety of programs that I deliver. Well, leadership is a biggie. There's a lot of, particularly we find in turbulent times, and I find I do my best work when times are tough. People recognize that they do have a need. And so I like to, in the leadership arena, try to help people see things a little differently from a different perspective in the roles that they play. I point out that we manage things, but we lead people. And we need to lead people, not leading a group, but leading individuals. And do it in a manner that we are able to give people feedback that's inspirational, that makes them feel good about themselves, again, as to what they're doing. So that there are great opportunities in how to show the employees that we appreciate what they're bringing. And so I do a lot of work in the leadership area, and I also do a lot of work in customer service. I like to point out to people that whoever the point of contact is with the customer is the face of the company. And every time there's an interaction with the client, it is an opportunity. And it needs to be viewed as an opportunity. Presentation skills are another area I love because I find that's the most highly rewarded skill in corporate America. People who can get up on their feet and do a decent job. And a lot of people say, well, the facts speak for themselves. Well, the facts really don't always speak for themselves. And my favorite example was Dr. Alexander Fleming in 1929, inventing penicillin. But he was so poor in his presentation skills that the world ignored it for another 10 years when someone else read through his notes and realized the opportunity. So, and what's really thrilling when you're working with someone on presentation is that it's one of the fastest skills to learn, and it can make a significant difference in a short period of time. And I also do one-on-one coaching with individuals, helping people get different positions, resumes, and jobs. So that type of coaching is very meaningful. I really enjoy it. And I would say that one of the primary things that I do is help people see things from a different perspective, in helping someone else to see themselves in a different light and see their situations in a different light. I guess one of my favorite examples was my son after 9/11 like so many young people, decided to go join the Army. So he goes down to Columbus, Georgia, to Fort Benning there, and he goes through his basic and his advanced training. He goes through jump school and ranger school. Then they sent him to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, 82nd Airborne. Within 3 weeks of arrival, he was on his way to Afghanistan. After he gets back from Afghanistan, within 3 months, he had his orders for Iraq. He was to leave on January 16th. January 13th, he called home. It was his birthday. In my family, if you have a birthday, I always sing happy birthday. And that I can't sing at all, it usually puts a smile on the recipient's face. But I could tell Kenny was not smiling. I said, son, is everything okay? He said, no, Dad. He said, the advanced group that went over on Saturday got shot up really bad going into Baghdad. I said, well, I'm sorry to hear that. We talked a little while longer and finally hung up. And about 2 hours later, his mother came downstairs. She said, have you spoken to Kenny today? I said, yes, I have. She says, I just hung up with him. He told me that he was absolutely terrified. I said, well, he didn't say that to me, but I could see where anybody would be. Well, the next day he calls him again. This time it's in a completely different mood. He was upbeat, talking about his plans, his preparations, packing. I'm thinking, what's different? I didn't say anything. I just listened. After a while, I said, Daddy, my first sergeant's in the wrong business. He's wasting his time in the Army. He said, he ought to be a motivational speaker like you. I said, well, son, have you heard him give a speech? Oh, yes. He said, gave one this morning. I said, what'd he say? He said, he told us he knew a lot of us were scared and worried about going over. That, however, is the good news. Because when people are scared and worried, they pay a lot more attention to details. The fact that when people get too comfortable, that's when they start making mistakes. In fact, everybody's scared and worried means we all coming home alive. He said, Daddy, I'd follow that man anywhere. I look at him like my second father. I thought to myself, nah, that man's not in the wrong business. He's right where he needs to be. As my son's got to go to war, I'm glad he's going with someone he respects. You see, that man took a negative, which was fear, and turned it into a positive. Henry David Thoreau said it best of all. It's not what you look at in life that matters, it's what you see. And so I love to help people see their opportunities, see their talents, and understand there's a place for them. There's a way to grow those talents, that they can feel better about themselves and know that they can reap success.